Hello, and thanks for joining us.
On the programme this evening.
Please, no!
I'll explain everything.
A mother's cry of anguish as her daughter's arrested for killing babies. Previously unseen footage as a new documentary on the Lucy Letby case arrives on our screens.
How Ryan's family hope a new law in his name will properly punish people like his own dad, who caused his death by dangerous driving after taking cocaine.
May you be with the force. We follow two new recruits as they take their first steps in the Isle of Man Constabulary.
Speaking from the heart, Pep and his hopes for world peace.
How reaching 105 years old is a piece of cake for Joyce from Cheshire.
And the crocuses may be out here in the northwest, but the weather is still decidedly wintry. The details are coming up later on in the programme.
So first tonight, that's previously unseen footage of nurse Lucy Letby being arrested and protesting her innocence. It features in a one-off documentary released earlier on the streaming channel Netflix.
The programme's been brought out on the same day as inquests were opened and adjourned into the deaths of 5 of the 7 babies Lucy Letby was convicted of killing at the Countess of Chester Hospital.
Our correspondent Mel Barham has more.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. I appreciate it's quite a shock.
It's footage that's never been seen publicly before.
I know you didn't.
Convicted serial killer Lucy Letby pleading her innocence as she's arrested at her parents' home back in 2019.
Don't look, Mum, let's go.
I don't think there was a miscarriage of justice, but no one actually saw her do it.
This part of a new documentary released today on Netflix about one of the most controversial criminal cases of our time.
It was all just spiralling out of control.
He wrote a note saying, I'm a horrible, evil person. Explain why this is to us.
No comment.
These police interviews were never shown during her criminal trials. Now we get to hear and see her response to questions like why she wrote those infamous notes.
I felt like I'd only ever done my best for those babies, and then people were trying to say that my practice wasn't good or that I'd done something, and I couldn't cope.
In another first, we hear from the mum of one of the baby girls who died. They've disguised her appearance using AI.
All of a sudden, I realised that someone could have purposely targeted my child. We just were completely lost for words.
Can you come in, okay?
We need to speak to you.
But it's a documentary causing its own controversy. Letby's parents have called the footage filmed at their home a complete invasion of privacy. But Letby's lawyers have taken part in this film, renewing their calls for her case to be sent back to the Court of Appeal. Twice that's been denied, but they've now submitted evidence to the Criminal Cases Review Commission from an international panel of medics, which they believe could point to her innocence.
It is probably their biggest case. I'm hoping that they're taking it very seriously. I'm hoping that it's going to be sent back very soon to the Court of Appeal, but I'm still waiting. And so is Lucy.
The most evil
serial killer.
The film will no doubt raise more questions about the safety of Letby's convictions, but for the parents of the babies, they remain utterly convinced of Letby's guilt.
Well, Mel joins us now, and Mel, the inquest into these 5 babies was opened and then immediately adjourned.
Yeah, that's right, Katie. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of that alarm behind me. But you're right, it took less than half an hour this morning. It was pretty much a procedural exercise, although obviously extremely important for the families involved. And the coroner formally opened, adjourned and then suspended the inquest into 5 of the 7 babies that neonatal nurse Lucy Letby was convicted of murdering. Those babies who, for legal reasons, we can only identify as babies C, E, I, O and P. They'd already originally been given death certificates showing that they died from natural causes, although given Letby's convictions that has obviously now changed. But those inquests have now, as I said, been suspended. That is because they need to wait for the outcome of the public inquiry, which is due to be published after Easter. But the timing of this is really interesting. You see in my VT there that Lucy Letby's lawyer not at all happy that these inquests are being opened now at a time when they are still waiting for the Criminal Cases Review Commission to decide whether or not to send her case back to the Court of Appeal.
OK, Mel, for now, many thanks indeed.
Well, next tonight, a family from Kendal is calling for tougher punishments for people convicted of death by dangerous driving while under the influence of drugs.
Yes, Ryan Liam Morgan was just 14 when he was killed in a car crash on the M6 near Lancaster. His own father, Daniel Berber, was driving, having taken cocaine and had an epileptic episode at the wheel.
Well, he was jailed for 10 years, but his family want the minimum jail term for the crime to be increased. Matthew Taylor has the story.
14-year-old Ryan Liam died following a crash just off the M6 in April last year. He was being driven by his own father, who'd taken cocaine before the crash. Daniel Berber was eventually sentenced to 10 years in prison. Ryan Liam's mother, Kim Morgan from Kendal, and his grandmother, Anne Bell, who spoke to us on Kim's behalf, don't think that that was tough enough.
Like a black cloud's hung over us. It's been awful. And we're struggling from day to day as it comes, you know what I mean? It's always in our thoughts, always. We're fighting for him. We want justice for him and everything, so because we think he deserves this.
The online petition that the family have set up is asking for a minimum sentence of 20 years for cases of death by dangerous driving with drugs involved and a lifetime ban from getting back behind the wheel for the offender. If a petition gets to 10,000 signatures, it will get a government response, and with 100,000, it will be considered for a debate in Parliament. The petition has a month still to run.
Why do you want the law changed? Why do you want higher sentences for death by dangerous driving?
Because if they're under the influence of drugs and alcohol and they go driving recklessly and they kill someone, I don't see why they should get a lenient sentence. They should get a really strong, long sentence for what they've done, killing someone under the influence. Yeah, we're trying to set up Ryan's Law, which is precisely what we're aiming for, where if they're driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol and they kill someone, we want them to get a long sentence. And that's why we want Ryan's Law. We want it to be called Ryan's Law.
A spokesperson from the Ministry of Justice said, "This was a terrible crime and our thoughts remain with the family and friends of Ryan Morgan. Dangerous driving destroys lives and the maximum penalty for causing death through this offence is life. While independent judges decide sentences, we are making sure the courts have the sentencing powers to ensure punishments fit the severity of the crime." In a victim impact statement read to the court when Daniel Berber was sentenced, Ryan Liam's mum said that her son had so much to live for, adding that not only did he take my boy's life, he took my boy's future. Anne told us what sort of a person her grandson Ryan Liam was.
He was lovely, so loving. He had a lot of love to give and he was just a happy boy. He really was, and he'd do out for anybody.
Are you determined to carry on and see this through and get the law changed?
Yes, if we can, yeah, we're going to carry on.
In Ryan's name?
In Ryan's name, yeah.
So it's a fight that this family are determined to continue. Matthew Taylor, ITV News.
And there's more information about that petition for Ryan's Law on our website, itv.com/Granada.
Let's take a look at some more of the day's news now. And the owners of a light aircraft which crashed near Rochdale, killing 2 men, say they're working with the authorities. Emergency services were called to farmland in Littleborough shortly after 11 a.m. yesterday. The aircraft was owned by Daedalus Aviation, a Birmingham-based company offering pilot training experiences. The 2 men have not yet been identified.
2 men have been arrested after a high-speed chase which started in Leeds and ended in Greater Manchester.
Yeah, we are East Langton, 110 miles an hour.
The stolen Audi was tracked all the way to Tilsley, where officers gave chase just after 6 o'clock this morning. A police helicopter helped spot the car, which was eventually abandoned on a residential street. 2 men, aged 18 and 20, are being questioned on suspicion of burglary. You can see the full video released by police on our website, itv.com/Granada.
Well, now for the first of a series of special reports following the journey of 2 new recruits with the Isle of Man Constabulary.
Yeah, with 85,000 residents, the island's believed to be the 3rd safest country in the world. But the police are actually short of officers. Well, over the next 4 months, we'll be documenting the journey of Kirsty and Jamie as they join the force.
Our Isle of Man reporter Joshua Stokes went to meet them.
For Kirsty, 2026 is a year of change. The mum of 3 is setting her sights on a new venture as she prepares to join the Isle of Man Constabulary.
Kind of something that I always wanted to do, but in my early 20s I started a family, so the opportunity didn't arise. I had young children, but now my children have grown up. It's now my turn to sort of delve into the career that I want to, and I think age is just a number.
Also starting his policing journey is Jamie. After leaving the island to become a PE teacher, he decided the UK wasn't for him.
I don't think it's got the same sense of community. I missed all my friends that I've grown up with over here. I didn't feel as safe over there, and I just love it here.
Policing an island of this size, of course, comes with differing challenges, but it's that close relationship with the community that has a certain appeal.
I think policing on the Isle of Man, you can make a lot more of a difference. I think in the UK, you're very bang, 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 job, 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 and you don't get to sort of look after an individual as well as you would here.
You know, you've got that time to follow through and, you know, to speak to people. In times gone by, you were scared of the police, you know, whereas now we're working in schools, we're doing community days, you know, where the community can come and talk to us as, you know, help, I guess, rather than that kind of scaremongering that, you know, we're here just for the bad side of things.
The pair are about to start 4 months of training, giving them all the tools they need to police the island, a 32 by 11 mile nation managed in 4 sections and watched over by 231 officers that make up the force. A substantial number for a small area, but still 9 officers below their ideal target.
We've done workshops across in the Northwest, in the Midlands and also in the Greater London area with a view to trying to attract transferees from UK forces who want a different quality of life over here in the Isle of Man. As I've mentioned previously, we are the 3rd safest country in the world. We're certainly the safest place in the British Isles, and that remains our focus.
A statistic both Kirsty and Jamie are hoping to uphold, with their training officially underway as they begin their 16-week journey into the constabulary. Joshua Stokes, ITV News, Port Erin.
Best of luck to the new recruits.
Yeah. Time for sport now, and a passionate appeal for peace from Pep Guardiola, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. We've heard him address a number of issues over the years, but nothing quite like this. The Manchester City boss has spoken out against some of the conflicts currently happening across the world and the needless deaths of so many people. Guardiola was speaking at a press conference to preview tonight's League Cup semi-final at home to Newcastle. City 2-0 up from the first leg, but he chose to move away from football to talk about conflicts across the globe, including Palestine, Ukraine and Sudan.
Right now, with all technologies, all the advances that we have, the humanity is better than ever in terms of possibilities. We can reach the moon, we can do everything. But still, right now, we kill each other for what? For what? So, when I see the images, I'm sorry, it hurts. It hurts to me. That's why in every position I can help, speaking up to be a better society. No, I want to change anything, but I will be there all the time.
Next, and just a day after parting company with their manager, Blackburn Rovers are back to winning ways. Valerian Ismail left Ewood Park on Monday. Last night, Rovers beat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 in the Championship for their first victory since before Christmas it sees the club climb out of the relegation zone. Meanwhile, Crewe Alexandra's 1-1 draw at Barnet leaves them 5 points adrift of the League Two playoff places. Everton women have sacked their manager Brian Sorensen. He'd been in charge of the Blues since 2022, but leaves with the club sitting 9th in the Super League table. Everton say it became evident that a change of direction was necessary. Under-18s coach Scott Phelan will take charge for the rest of the season. Tributes are being paid to the Salford-born snooker legend John Virgo, who's died at the age of 79. Virgo won the UK Championship in 1979, but is best known for his work as a broadcaster. He became famous for his trick shots on the 1990s TV show Big Break, while he was one of the most respected commentators in the sport. Now to Rugby League, and the new Super League season is just over a week away now. Today, players from all 14 clubs have visited the National Football Museum in Manchester to begin the countdown. Chris Hall was there too, catching up with a returning Super League legend.
Yes, a bit of a different feel to Super League this year. It's expanded from 12 to 14 teams. York Knights will make their debut, while Toulouse and Bradford Bulls will be welcomed back into the fold, as too will this man, Jackson Hastings, back after a couple of years in the NRL Down Under, back in Super League. Have you missed it?
I have, you know, yeah. I'm one of the rare footy heads these days that watch every game. So I've got a 9-month-old daughter at home, so she kept me up during the night, and I made sure that I was awake for all the Super League games, stayed in touch with it.
Now, of course, you left Super League as a Wigan player. You come back playing for the arch rivals St Helens. Are you expecting a bit of stick come Derby Day?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't want it any other way. When you leave this country and you've played in them games, they're the ones that you miss the most, apart from obviously grand finals and things like that. So got a lot of really close mates in the Wigan side. Some I grew up with and went to school with, actually. Jay Field, I'll be looking to take his head off. So, it'll be brilliant, mate. Really looking forward to the occasion.
Of course, you won the greatest individual honour available over here, the Man of Steel Award for Player of the Year. But despite those two great spells with Salford and with Wigan, you didn't get your hands on a team trophy. Is that a priority for you this time around?
Oh, thanks for reminding me. No, the Man of Steel is great, obviously, but I'd trade that in for a premiership or winning the league or a Challenge Cup, you know what I mean? The game, at the end of the day, is a team sport. When I look back on my career, I'll obviously be grateful for the Man of Steel. Like, even looking up at the poster up there to see your name's pretty buzzy. Just a kid from Wollongong in Australia with my name on a big board like that. I still get a bit of tingles thinking about it, but this club knows how to win, so hopefully they can teach me a few things and we can get over the line.
And what about the World Cup at the end of the year? You're an England international in the past. Are you hoping to perhaps win that jersey back in time for that? Yeah, definitely. I don't care what number it is. Could be number 110. I don't care. I'd love to be on that plane, go over to Australia, and watching the boys play the Ashes, gave me chills, really. I really wanted to be a part of something like that. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of it. Just got to play well for Saints, and that'll take care of itself. Jackson, have a great season. We'll let you go. Thank you very much. Well, Super League gets underway next week, but Jackson and all of these players will be in action this weekend in the Challenge Cup. For the fans and these players, the long wait for the Rugby League season is nearly over.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. We'll be spending time with all 4 of our Super League clubs, Wigan, Warrington, St Helens and Leigh, throughout next week. But that's your sport tonight, guys.
Lovely. Thanks, Mike. Not long to go.
Finally tonight, to a very special Granada Reports viewer who's celebrating a very special birthday this week.
Yeah, that's right. Joyce Owen turns 105 on Saturday and has so far seen 25 Prime Ministers and 5 monarchs on the throne.
Well, in her hometown of Tarvin near Chester, the whole community has rallied together to celebrate her incredible milestone birthday this morning. Zoe Muldoon went along too.
When you get to the grand old age of 105, you can expect a bit of a fuss. Joyce Owen never misses the coffee mornings here at St Andrew's Church in Tarvin, and today was no exception. Friends and family, including some more than 100 years Joyce's junior, came to celebrate.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joyce.
I'll be honest, I never thought that there would be a day that my nan would get to meet my children. So, sorry, that's just made me really emotional. So yeah, it's really special.
Joyce was born and raised in London, and when she was 21, She enlisted in the Auxiliary Territorial Service during the Second World War.
I wasn't sort of detailed to go and join any forces, and so I went and enlisted in the 80s.
And you've had a great life, haven't you?
I think I can say I've enjoyed it.
She moved to the Northwest decades ago to be closer to her family, though she's fiercely independent and still lives on her own.
She does her own washing. She's a very independent lady.
Yeah, she's just amazing, so it's just incredible.
You just go on as yourself, dear. You don't try to be somebody else. Just go on as yourself. So, see, are you listening?
Wise words from a woman who's seen it all. Zoe Muldoon, ITV News, Tarvin.
Oh, thank you very much for the pearls of wisdom, Joyce. Very happy birthday to you.
Yeah, were you listening?
I definitely was. Here's Joe.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello again, good evening. A few glimmers of sunshine out there today. That could be it for the rest of the week. Looking pretty cloudy, damp, and there will be some further spells of wintry wet snow on higher ground. We saw a little bit overnight last night on the tops of the Pennines and the Lakeland Fells, and it could be a similar situation overnight tonight. More so perhaps tomorrow evening. More on that to come. It's going to be breezy and cold. That wind is easterly. It really is feeling very chilly out there. Low pressure dominates for the rest of the week, and during tomorrow this is the rain band that will move up from the south as it meets cold air up on higher ground. By tomorrow evening's rush hour there could be some snow for the tops of the Transpennine routes. Elsewhere this evening and overnight it's pretty murky out there with fog again for the Pennines, the Peak District and the Fells. Some rain moving through, drier further west, still that keen easterly breeze, and temperature wise we're free from frost, 3 or 4 Celsius overnight tonight. On to tomorrow, and the sun will be rising at 7:51, setting at 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. For us here in the northwest tomorrow, a pretty cloudy day to come. A low cloud, mistiness, some fog on Transpennine routes through the morning rush hour, and then we'll see that rain increasing, winds picking up, a cloudy damp end to the day, and by the time we get to tomorrow evening, perhaps some wet snow on the highest of routes there. Something to bear in mind if you're travelling. It's going to feel a good deal colder than it is on paper. 5 or 6 Celsius, but feeling around -1 probably in that wind. A damp night tomorrow night. Friday, Saturday and Sunday look a little drier, but it remains rather dull. Temperatures will pick up just a little bit though into the weekend. Bye-bye.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
And that's all we've got time for on tonight's Granada Reports.
Yeah, we'll be back with a late update after news at 10. Until then, good night and thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.